Welcome back to another Buddies, Booze, Banters, Unfiltered Conversations. I'm Rick.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Alex.
Good to see you both here.
Thanks.
And,
It's great to see everybody, too.
Yeah, it was a tight squeeze to get here.
Well, that's because you're off gambling, spending a fortune.
Yep, so Alex was out gambling again last night.
Yeah, we were getting all these photographs of these dinners, and then was a cowboy hat on in the casino.
I was in bed by 8:30.
And where you want big bucks, no whammies, it sounded like you got the whammies.
I didn't win anything.
Well, that kind of sucks.
Like I won $30 in the first 10 minutes, and then it was just all downhill from there. Ryan was down $1,600 on 3-card poker.
Wow.
Yeah, you see, that's why I just don't gamble. I mean, maybe I'm just not skilled enough. I just don't have much luck either.
That's it. You're not skilled enough.
Well, I mean,
all you do is hit the button.
There's
slot machines. There's nothing.
That's
to
my
it.
point. Is I'm not skilled enough
It's
there either.
I haven't been to the casino in I don't know, several years. But I always used to love playing blackjack because I could play that for hours because it's like I'd go up, go down, but I wouldn't. I mean, I would play. I could play for a long period of time, and then if I got on a hot hand, I could win a lot of money.
Well, good luck on that one because I mean, the only time that I've been to one recently, well, I say recently, I mean, it's probably a decade ago, and it was only because I was visiting somebody there. Maybe even more than that. My mother was when she was alive.
So on your 50th birthday?
No.
That would have been a decade ago.
Not quite. Not quite. Now, yours was what, 15 years ago, right?
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is going to be a nice, short, sweet one that we want to kind of do today. So
thank God it's going to be short.
That way we can do a drop sometime here in the next 24 hours or so. But the real topic that we want to talk about is what's on everybody's lips as we're watching this chaos that's going on in the hush money trial of Donald J. Trump. And, I mean, it is, you cannot write this shit. I mean, it is just hilarious. One to watch his expressions. And then,
You mean it didn't get delayed again?
No, he tried. I mean, I think that he tried all the way up until I think was, Saturday morning or something along those lines?
I think so, and then I think he tried again on Monday morning, and it got shot down again. Because it was no different than the other ones.
Now, is this the Stormy Daniels one? Or
This is the porn star hush money stuff, yeah.
The New York trial.
Which is a strong probability of the one that he will get convicted of. And the sad thing about it is for him is that is a 1 to 4 year jail term. And apparently, it's rumored, based upon some close sources in his court, is that his lawyers have been telling him that, be prepared. You could go to jail for. Now, I think that it would be suspended. I don't think they'll actually put him in because logistically, the Secret Service and all this other crap. I mean, and then again, he would definitely end up with some sort of country club.
Secret Service in jail too.
They would actually have him. Cordon off somewhere else, and, I don't know, a house arrest or something, I don't know. Something crazy like that. But, the thing that I thought was funny yesterday when they were doing the whole process of talking about the schedule, apparently he asked about Barron's graduation. Apparently Barron's graduating from high school here in May, and he wanted to make sure that he's able to actually attend that graduation. Keep that in mind.
I am.
Now, of course, the judge said, let's see how the trial goes. And then we'll decide then. Now, of course, he gets out there in front of the cameras, and he's like, well, it looks like the judge is not going to let me actually go see Barron's graduation. You didn't see anybody else's graduation of your kids. You have 4 other kids. You didn't see any of their graduations, so what the hell's the difference? I mean, he's literally using that as an excuse.
He comes up with an excuse for everything, like it's so important and so good. And it's like, on most people, they sound reasonable. But when you keep doing it over and over and over on every single thing and everybody's watching you.
They went after, I forget what it was. Somebody connected to the judge because they had actually made a donation to a Democrat. Or something. I mean, they literally pulled anything and everything you possibly could out of the toilet.
Well, but I mean, on one aspect is you want your lawyers and all that stuff to defend the hell out of you.
Yeah,
and so whether you like it or not, they are.
Yeah, but now they're playing a lying game, including his attorneys. The one that did the defamation case, the female.
Not Roker. I know who you're talking about.
Or something like that. Yeah, she's not involved in this case, but apparently she's out there kind of being a mouthpiece. And as an officer of the court, the lies that she's talking about could actually get her in an issue with the actual bar of New York because she's making false statements, as a representative of him in a lawyer capacity. So,
there hasn't been any lawyers yet that have lost their license dealing with Trump stuff, have there?
Mm-hmm. No, there's been a few, that's for sure.
I'm joking. There's at least 4.
But let's talk about really the funniest thing of all yesterday. And
it was sleeping?
Yeah. What is that? Haberman, the reporter from the New York Times or New York Post or whatever it is. She was the one who first reported, and she actually reported on CNN. And apparently he was dozing off. I mean, it was like... And somebody eventually caught a photograph of it and threw it out there. And apparently, as he was walking out during the break for lunch, he gave her like a deadly stare, knowing full well because he's actually got his phone and he's been tweeting or whatever you call the Truth Social shit while he's actually there, which he's going to slip up. And he's going to do something that he's not allowed to because of the gag order. And all of a sudden, you're going to have, you've actually got contempt of court. You're going to go spend the night in jail, buddy.
I mean, I don't know if we'll get there. I mean, I know a lot of people would love to see that happen, but they're having a hearing. Is it later this week or next week about him on the gag order? Kind of already.
Well, the contempt part of it, yes, because the prosecutor already wants him to be actually charged with contempt.
Well, because he's already kind of violated the gag order. That's what they're saying.
He is an uncontrollable. He has so many ridiculous urges. He can't control himself. So of course,
I know, but he gets away with everything.
Well, does he?
Well, no. That has been his life story, and so it's like he is in his late 70s. Why is he going to change? He's not. But it's just like if it's something ever happens and he gets caught on all this stuff and somebody puts him in his place, then
which may be the case here, and it's because he couldn't keep his little in the pants. Which is typically how men go down.
They do.
They can't keep it in the pants, and all of a sudden, their whole world comes crumbling down.
Yeah, what was it? The governor from New York, probably about 10, 15 years ago, whatever, that he was high and mighty, and then ultimately paid off to go into a sex shop or whatever. And then he got...
And he was a Democrat.
Yeah, he was.
Usually it's always Republicans who do it, but
it's both parties.
Majority of the people who are being prosecuted for at least pedophilia are Republicans in offices or preachers. Yeah.
All right, so I know you and I follow Trump and the politics and all this.
No, he doesn't.
It's like Alex. I know you don't. What do you know anything about this case that's coming up?
The Stormy Daniels one, right?
Yeah,
correct. Yeah, generally speaking, but that's it in a nutshell. He paid her to be quiet.
Well, he had Michael Cohen pay her $130,000.
Who's in jail?
No, he's long on.
He's
jail.
out of jail.
He's out of jail.
But he's the star witness.
Go to jail. Right.
He's the star witness against him. So, and apparently between him, Stormy Daniels, and the other Playboy model who he supposedly slept with,
McDougal.
Which actually has been approved to actually be on the witness list today, are the ones that are going to bring him down. Sex does it, man. Just sex does it. Become asexual. What the hell?
Well, when you say bring him down, I don't know what that means.
Well, I don't think he's going to sit his ass in jail for any long period of time.
I don't. Whatever
Not
this
on
happens,
this case, at least.
I don't think he will, because then it's like if he, at least it'll be after the election, because it's like if he loses, then he'll appeal it and everything else is. But the people that are gung ho Trump believers and all that stuff is this trial. If he's convicted, won't have any phase to them.
Right.
We're just talking about people with middle of the road. It's just like...
But the question that I have is there a point of, I've had enough? Not necessarily about him personally, but just constant bombardment of law cases and stuff like... he expected a huge crowd outside the courthouse when he arrived yesterday, and there's like stragglers, like 50 people. Literally nobody out there.
Well, the reason why he asked for it for 1/6 on all that stuff is, and then all these people got arrested, got indicted, went to jail, still waiting for it. So it's like nobody's going to do all this stuff now. He had his one chance on that one, which he had. Nobody else is going to really come and do all that stuff because they're afraid they're going to be put in jail. Nobody wants to be in jail.
I forget.
He's not worth it to go to jail for.
Yeah, I mean, kind of moving on a little bit on the whole falling asleep in there, and obviously everybody came out of the woodwork to make fun of him.
Yeah,
which I loved, including I guess it was the boom handler on The Apprentice, and this guy's been out there for almost a decade saying shit about him, saying that he shits himself. He wears diapers, and I mean, literally, I've witnessed it. I've seen it. He gets scurried off into the actual back room to get cleaned up and things of that sort. And he was being interviewed yesterday about the whole falling asleep part about it. And the interviewer said, "Well, you've been mentioning that he has diapers, and yet he hasn't sued you." And he's like, "You can't sue something when it's true." So I mean, I just thought that was kind of hilarious. I mean, true. I mean, he sues everybody.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a lie in his head. This is clearly some sort of validity of truth to it. Otherwise, I mean, I'm not saying that he's got to drop his trousers in the court of the law and say, "Are you wearing a diaper?" But I mean, it's just interesting. It's like he's literally never gone, and this guy has not stopped. He has not backed down. He is anytime. He's always out there saying, "Yeah, he wears diapers," and he says it's because he's.
Does he know what brand?
I don't know about the probably. Well, it depends. Is the number one brand for adults, right? But he's saying that because of all the trash food that he eats all day long, the greasy crap and all that, and then he, of course, apparently, and again, I'm not saying this is the truth. This is what he's saying, that he is just completely on speed. The entire team, he snorts speed.
Doesn't he only weigh like 215 pounds?
The interesting thing about that is, we know that wasn't true when he was actually weighed, and they actually posted it out there. But apparently, he is now on Ozempic, and he has been losing weight. Oh, yeah. No, he's been losing a little weight. So my point is, like, okay, you're going to be taking speed, and you're going to be eating that greasy-ass food, and you're Ozempic. Dude, you are just a walking heart attack ready to happen,
But he's been that way for years, so...
Yeah,
but we don't want it to happen now.
Well, they say the Antichrist is hard to kill,
We want
right?
to see how this trial turns out.
They do say the Antichrist is hard to kill, right? I mean, that's all I can attribute it to. That's for sure. There's no doubt about it. I just thought it was kind of funny him falling asleep and how pissed off he is. And,
because he's got no control. He's going to try to push it. And it's like he has, and today he did try to push it a little, where he kind of said something under his breath to a juror,
he grumbled
and
something.
the judge just
we're not going to have this.
This judge is no nonsense. You're not going to disrespect. You're not going to intimidate a juror or whatever.
The thing about
so he's going to find it soon. Okay, wait a second. Alex was the one to say something.
He's got to go to jail, because if he doesn't, then it's going to open up opportunities where men can pay off women.
Well,
I mean, especially from a public figure, yeah.
Right, from
Absolutely.
a public figure.
There's
it's going to open up a whole nother... I think there's
Pandora's
literally
box.
no option.
But on the flip side of that, if he does go to jail, that could also open another Pandora's box, where finally they're being held accountable.
Right.
Which is something that needs to happen.
We'll see on the jail. I'm not expecting the jail on this.
I think he'll be
just
convicted.
if he's convicted, then the people can at least say he's got a felony conviction on his record.
A deal is going to be made as a former president with high security and things of that sort. They'll do some sort of house arrest and whatever. The thing about it is, this is a 6-week or whatever week course the entire trial is. And let's say he does get convicted right away, and yes, he's on appeal. Yes, he can get bonded out on an appeal. How does that? But if he's limited on what he can do, how does that affect his campaign? I mean, he's already limited to 4 days a week in the court for the next couple of months.
I'm just saying this is you put a conviction out there, a felony conviction on his record. I'm going to have a hard time believing that there's going to be people in middle of America that are going to push him over the top and want him to be president.
I would have said that probably a couple of weeks ago, until that asshole Governor Sununu came out and did a flip-flop.
Well, no,
and he couldn't even defend it.
No, I get it. I saw it too.
I just want a Republican administration. You want a insurrectionist. You want somebody who's going to put their hands on the nuclear buttons.
And
who wants to eliminate NATO.
George Stephanopoulos really drilled him.
He drilled him big time, and he needed to. And that's
where it's like what frustrates everybody that with politicians are integrity means nothing to them. They'll say 1 minute one, and they'll change it the next minute.
Well, I mean, people who are kind of up on this stuff politically, what irritates somebody like myself is most of these media people, when they come out and say a lie and they say something that contradicts what they've actually been on the record for, they don't keep fucking hammering them.
Oh, and I was because with that, then I was a friend. I'm not going to mention his name, but Nikki Haley, who Sununo's really support and all that stuff is I told him, this friend, that says, okay, now I expect Nikki Haley is going to come out and support Trump. And she goes, no, he's not. No, he's not. No, she's not. I was like, she's going to.
She may not have a choice.
She's going to fall in line with everybody else's. And so that's the part where it's just like,
it's ridiculous.
Politics are not what it was when I grew up or whatever.
No.
It is more important now to kind of get rid of the extreme left. I mean, the extreme right.
Well, no, the extreme left too,
and the extreme left too, or whatever.
I mean,
but to me, is right now is the extreme left is nowhere near what the extreme right is trying to pull off.
No. I mean, they're not obviously looking to use violence, And every time he talks about, it's going to be hell to pay, he's actually trying to draw blood.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. So I mean, it's kind of interesting. A couple of things that real quick I'm going to end off in this particular segment on is what I find very ironic, and if Biden's smart and his campaign is smart, he's going to play off falling asleep in court because he's been called Sleepy fucking Joe.
Yes.
I think we got Sleepy Cheeto now. I mean, Sleepy Orange, I don't know, Sleepy, I don't know, Boobas and Butthead, I don't know.
But just a comment on the trial, it looks like they've seated 6 people today.
Well, that was after dismissing 50% yesterday.
Yeah.
There was 94 individuals, and like 50 of them were actually dismissed.
But I guarantee you, for anybody that's on this jury or a potential juror, they are looking through all your social media forever. And
yeah,
so
but I mean,
like,
I think there were some instructions today from the judge that you get one copy. And only one copy. There will be multiple copies made of this. Yeah, so we gave some strict instructions specifically about the personal lives of the actual jurors.
Well, no, but they're going online to check.
Oh, they've already started that.
I know
they've already started.
They got the names, so they're checking all.
They
this
started
stuff
that
out.
last week. There's no doubt about it. I mean, that's the whole reason why his deputy communications director is actually in there with him, which I'll bring up a little bit later in another podcast that we're going to talk about, because I think there's something going on there.
But it's like we all know what kind of goes on, because if you ever watch the TV show Bull,
yeah.
That had the guy that was on NCIS. Yeah, he went there and played all this. And it kind of showed what they do on juries to try, because it's like ultimately choosing your jury ultimately makes or break your case. Usually.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you haven't done your job and really kind of hit them with the right questions and overanalyze them and making sure they actually are giving you the truth. And there was a right-wing pundit, I don't know if he was a podcaster or something like that. He actually went out yesterday and basically was trying to do jury tampering by telling anybody who supports Trump and is actually on the jury pool, do everything that you possibly can to make sure you get on the jury so there's a hung jury.
Well,
which is jury tampering.
Yeah, and I get that.
And he's a lawyer.
And it's for me it's like, I'm not saying Trump is guilty right now, because it's like I haven't seen all the facts.
I'm saying he's guilty of this.
I have to just see the facts.
He may have been stupid with the documents or something like that. I don't know. But I know where he put that down.
But anybody that's going to file charges on a president, you better have your I's, T's, and T's crossed.
They have a lot
and it's
of
like
that.
You better do that, because
but
it's
let's be honest. I mean, despite everything in the business world that he's gotten away with, he's always thought that he was a ladies' man. He always thought that he could just screw whoever he wanted to, never get caught, never be called upon it. Have affairs on his wives all the time, and have an affair on one wife with his second wife, and I mean, just crazy stuff. So he's always thought when it came to sex, he was out, and so that's why it's going to be what brings him down.
And supposedly the two porn or stars people that he had sex with that are going to be part of this trial, he was Melania was pregnant with Barron.
She was
at the time or whatever. So
I'm sure
that's not going to make happen.
Well, apparently, and we'll talk about that on the next topic here on the podcast, specific about Melania. Apparently, she's pretty pissed off about this. She did not want this trial to actually happen, and she was doing everything in her power to get him to stop it. And apparently, he did not succeed. So he's on her shit list.
It's just gonna embarrass her. But we do know she revised her agreement. Number one is when she became president.
Well, after 10 years, it went better for her.
And then it's just like I think something else shortly after the presidency or whatever.
Well, once she provided him a child, and after 10 years of marriage, she basically got everything, and she's got him by the balls for sure. But anyhow,
he still has balls.
Maybe. Well, anyways, there's no doubt that we are going to have a tremendous amount of talk about this particular trial, especially over the next couple of weeks, simply because it's going to go on for weeks.
It will.
And it's going to be a shit show.
It's boring now. I mean,
the
first day was us because you heard all the stuff.
I don't think the first day was boring.
No, the first day wasn't. But then
that
it's
was
like,
a home run for a shit show.
No, but just then it's like it's going until they get the jury. Then it'll get excited. But just doing all the stuff
I really wish that we could have a camera in there planted straight on him the entire time. I mean, that would be. I mean, just the fun of actually.
But we definitely know you would not. You would be first off that juror if they checked your social media.
Yeah, there's no. Well, actually, my social media not so much. Maybe the podcast, but my social media doesn't say a lot about that. I mean,
didn't you go after him on Twitter before?
Yeah, but that's deleted a long time
ago.
Oh
no, nothing's ever deleted. Believe me.
Yeah, but hey, we're going to talk about Twitter here in a little while as well. So.
Okay.
But anyhow, folks, we do appreciate you for this little brief, little synopsis of this current trial that's going on there. Like I said, we're going to talk about a lot of things over the next several weeks because, like I said, it's going to be a shit show, and we're going to have some fun with it. So.
And definitely give us feedback of what you think about our podcast.
Well, yeah, it's always good to have feedback. You know, I mean, and we're going to kind of adjust some stuff as we go as well. So, but thanks for joining us on this actual short episode of Buddies, Booze, and Banter's Unfiltered Conversations. I'm Rick.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Alex.
Till next time.
Thank God it was short. Law and order.
Is that SUV?
It could be either one.
The remix.
Yeah, no doubt.